Heyo friends, it's Matt with Bowls, and today we're going to look at a game that was released almost 10 years ago. Granted, the reason we're covering it now is because it's getting a brand new reprint, which is great because this game kinda went under the radar for a lot of people, myself included. However, this game's really good, so I'm more than happy to bring some much deserved attention to the latest printing of Spartacus. Spartacus is a competitive half-resource management game and half-tactical combat game, and both sides are equally important. The game is based on the 2012 show of the same name that was released on the channel Stars. It's a historical drama set in ancient Roman times, and with that in mind, I want to mention this up top that the game has some themes which might not sit well with everyone, things like buying and selling people. So for this review, we will be referring to those people as workers. In the game, players take the role of a dominus, a head of one ancient Roman household. Each dominus is attempting to become the most influential house in the city. The main objective of the game is to be the first player to reach 12 influence. They do this by scheming and plotting and through attending and winning the most popular event in the city, gladiatorial combat. Each household has a unique player board with 2 unique abilities and different starting assets like money, guards, gladiators, and workers. The round begins with upkeep. Players pay costs for their gladiators and earn coin for each of their workers. There's a large selection of gladiators and workers, and they each have different abilities and worths and costs. Each worker earns a certain number of coins, and each gladiator costs a certain number. During upkeep, players will also heal up any injuries to their gladiators and workers and refresh any exhausted cards. Typical stuff. Then, the intrigue phase begins. Each player will have a hand of intrigue cards that they can use to do all sorts of things. And this is where a lot of the treachery from the game comes into play. Each intrigue card requires a certain amount of influence in order to play it. However, if a player doesn't have enough influence, they can ask for support from any other player. Their influences will be added together in order to play that card. It is very purposefully open-ended on how all of this works. Suppose I tell my neighbor I need their assistance to play Looting the Dead, which will earn me 3 coins. I have 3 influence, which is not enough to play the card, but with my neighbor's additional 3 influence, we now have enough to play it. They agree to help on the condition that I give them one of those coins. Easy enough. I agree and they grant me their support. However, turns out I never had any intention of playing Looting the Dead, and with the 6 influence I now have with my neighbor's support, I instead play Word to the Tax Collector and choose to force said neighbor to pay 5 coins. And of course, I don't pay them the one I offered either. Sorry friend, bad luck. Not only is all of that allowed, it's encouraged, which brings us to the best rule of the game and perhaps the best rule in any game I've ever seen. The spirit of the game section talks about how players are gonna screw each other over time and time again, but remember, games are meant to be fun, and it caps it off with an important note: don't be an ass about it. Perfection. Anyway, my neighbor who has to pay 5 coins to the bank isn't totally stuck. They might have guards or reaction intrigue cards that they can utilize in order to foil my scheme, which is why it's important to keep a few of each on hand. Once each player has had a chance to hatch some schemes and develop some intrigue, the game moves on to the market phase. Here, players have a chance to buy new equipment for their gladiators or buy new gladiators or workers. They can also openly trade between each other as well. Buying from the market uses a blind auction system, with each player holding out a secret number of coins in their hand, with the asset going to the highest bidder. Again, pretty straightforward. However, at the end of the market phase, players will bid for hosting the next arena battle. This works the same way with the blind auction, but the winner is granted the honor of being the next host. And being host is extremely important for the arena phase, which occurs next. Host sends out invites to all the other houses or to themselves. The invite for that house is to send one of their gladiators or workers to enter the gladiatorial arena and fight to the probably death. Declining such an invitation is dishonorable and costs that dominus 1 influence, even if the house only has 1 untrained worker and no gladiators. So this is a great opportunity to embarrass another house, basically for free, knowing it would be stupid for them to accept an invite if they don't have any acceptable fighters. Either way, once a house has accepted the invite, they select one of their gladiators or workers to enter the arena and equip them with a weapon, armor, and a special item. Once both combatants are ready, each player makes their wagers. A player can bet on a simple victory, a severe injury, or decapitation, which, beyond the obvious implications of some of those, basically boils down to how badly the loser was defeated. And now, the game shifts on to a head-to-head tactical combat dice game. Each combatant has 3 stats: attack, defense, and speed. The number shown on the stat determines how many dice of that color they will roll. Each time an attack is made, the attacker rolls all of the red dice they have available, and the defender rolls all of the black dice they have. Then, both players line up their dice in numerical order. For each red die that is higher than the black die it is paired with, the defender is wounded and loses one of their dice, the defender's choice. However, none of the combatants' dice pools can be reduced to 0 die until they have only 1 die remaining in all of them. Finally, once a combatant is forced to remove the last die from any of their dice pools, they are defeated. The winning combatant earns a favor token, making them more popular. The severity of the defeat is based on how many of their dice pools they had to reduce to 0 with that final attack. Just 1 is a plain victory. 2 empty die pools causes a severe injury, but 3 empty dice pools results in decapitation, which no amount of healing is gonna fix. Finally, if the loser did survive, the host gets to determine their fate. In that iconic motion, the host either allows the loser to live with a thumbs up, or executes them with a thumbs down. However, the host will lose influence by executing a popular gladiator, 1 for each favor token that gladiator has. Once that's done, all bets are paid out and the next round begins and it starts all over again, and once a player has 12 influence, they win the game. And that's basically all you need to know to play Spartacus. Like I said, I like this game a lot. It's got that great balance of hidden role scheming, but without the hidden roles. Everyone is just openly scheming against each other. But the combat section is a really interesting way to spice this game up and keeping things from getting too stagnant. Imagine you're playing Settlers of Catan and someone puts the robber on one of your hexes, so you challenge them to gladiatorial combat. That's basically what Spartacus is. So if all of that sounds interesting, please go check out Spartacus. And if you like this video, please click that like button and subscribe for more tabletop gaming news. Again, I am Matt with Bowls. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Click to subscribe. Check out more videos. And thanks for watching.